Alright, good afternoon everyone. Today is January 31st, 2012. We're going to go over the trades we took in the live trading room this morning, the trades we didn't take, the trades that Dwayne took, if we get an opportunity to. What you're looking at right now are Dwayne's DOMs, okay? On the YM he got 20 points, and on the ES he got 10 ticks. Now I just wanted to show you that because that was from the live trading room this morning. And I'm going to take the charts now, and you will see what I did in the live trading room this morning as well. Okay. Here the charts should be showing up for you now. All right, there they are. And you can see that I got 64 ticks on the ES in the live trading room this morning. Okay, so that's what we got in the live trading room. We got 74 ticks ES and 20 points YM in the live trading room. Now we'll go through the trades, and we'll describe a few things while we're going through it. Here's the rules right here. All right, this is the rules for the trades on the 4-tick range chart, or these are the rules for the trades on the 4-tick range chart. And this was the trade that I actually took this morning. Okay, you need to get a higher or lower swing pivot. In this case, it was a lower swing pivot, which was right here. The BBC, which is this green line, needs to get outside the box, which means below the red dotted line for a short or above the blue dotted line for a long. And we'll see the blue dotted line in a minute. And you need a fresh bubble, which means these red bands, these red lines down here, need to get outside the black lines. Okay? They need to get outside the black lines. The pullback to the BBC needs to be clean, meaning there's no lower swings, meaning there's no higher low pivot is what I mean, and I'll show that to you in just a minute. I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. And you enter with an MIT order and round the BBC up or down to the nearest tick. Now in this particular case, price came up. It triggered me in. I think my order was at 13.12. I think it was at 13.12, and it triggered me in at 13.11.75. We were waiting for price to drop down. My order might have gotten me in at 13.12 even. I think it might have. But either way, what we were looking for in this trade was for price to get down below these thin lines right here, down below those lines. And once it did, a couple of those red lines, then we moved our stop to break even, and price continued down, as you can see. So we took our couple of points out of the market right here early on. This was actually right after a news event this morning, right after the consumer confidence came out, I think. And then I had a problem, so Dwayne took the charts at that time, and he had the opportunity to take a couple of trades while I was out. So I'll go over the trades that he took at that time. Right in here, you can see he actually took it. I think he took it on the 2100 tick here. Okay, I'm going to scroll back. It was right here on the 2100 tick. Price moved back here, and it went down 7 ticks right away. It went down to the MA1. I'll blow it up a little bit for you so you can see it better. The MA1 is this red and blue line right here. Price dropped down to the MA1. He moved his stop to break even plus a tick. It came back up, stopped on at break even plus a tick. Now, obviously, if he'd have kept it on, it would have worked out for him. But after he did that, then he took a naked 2100 tick trade, which means he had a chart that just had the MA1 on it. Right? I don't have one of those charts up right now, but I'll tell you where he took it. From right in here, he shorted for 2 points. Okay, he got the 2 points out of that, and then he had taken another trade over here. So that gave him 9 ticks. I think this one over here, he took on the long side, and he got 1 more tick out of that. That's how he got to 10 ticks. All right, on the naked 2100, he took this here for 1 tick, I believe, 1 tick profit. I believe. I'm sure. If I'm wrong, somebody can correct me, but he got 1 tick profit somewhere else, and I think he got the 2 points right there. Now, I had come back and put this trade on right here in the live trading room. I'm not counting that in the results. I'm only counting the trade that I took initially. But I also took this trade right here when it pulled back to the BBC here on the 2100. I was anticipating it moving down here to the weekly trading zone. I got out when it was having trouble here, not on that chart, but when it was having trouble on this chart at the MA1. I moved my stop up and locked in 1 point, and it took me out at plus 1 point. Okay, it went before I got stopped out at 1 point on that one. It went just about to my target, and you can see right now it's just kind of going sideways here, bouncing off the zone, going sideways. All right, and that's pretty much what all the markets are doing right here, right now. They're all bouncing off the zone and going a little bit sideways. Now, I had said on the 4-tick range I was going to show you what a pivot was, a higher low pivot. This right here is a higher low pivot. All right, if I can draw a trend line up the pivots like this, then that means the trend may be changing at this point. We may be very near a trend change, or that may in fact actually be the low pivot, and the trend may be changing from that point. You can see from that point that I drew, and I drew that in the live market this morning at 11 o'clock. I drew it over an hour ago. The market hasn't gone down. It's only gone 1 tick lower than this pivot right here. So that could very well have been the start of the change in trend. The trades that we take here on the 4-tick range, on the 2100 tick, on the 10,000 contract, and on the YM are all trend trades. All right. So when you have all your high pivots are going down, you have a downtrend. If all your low pivots are going up, you have an uptrend. All right. Right now, all the high and low pivots are going down, so we had a downtrend until this came in right here. And now you can see it's starting to change trend. Right now, if we draw a trend line right now from this low, we'd be drawing it up the bottoms like that, right? And from this pivot to that pivot, you'd be drawing it up the tops. There's your channel right there. Trend is now changing to up so far. Okay. Now this is a very fast time frame, so it's kind of a quick analysis of what the market is doing in a more immediate time frame. Okay. Now it's not like a daily chart or an hourly chart or anything like that. I said I was going to show you the trade that Dwayne took over here. He took a trade back here, right in here. On the YM, he took 20 points over here when the price broke down below this level. That's when he took the trade. Okay, it was coming off of the weekly trading zone, off of the BBC, and he was just looking for it to break down, price to start to break down below this level right here. And it did, and he took his 20 points right there. Okay, right here. From there to about here. All right, that was the ES and the YM this morning. All right, so we got, what do we get? 74? 74 ES ticks, 20 YM. And now I just want to point something else out. Just something quick on the euro. For those of you guys who were in the partners meeting, those of you guys who were partners who were in the partners meeting last week, this euro thing is working very nicely. I went through earlier today. Oops, wrong panel. I went through earlier today and pointed out all the ones that had happened at that time, and let me just go through and point out the ones. Yeah, well, they're already on there. You can see right here was suggesting a sell, a move down. Right here, a move down. There was one of them this morning that had failed somewhere. Right here, this one worked out well, suggesting a move down. This is the one that didn't work right here. Okay, so you would have lost, if you got in here at 31.40, this was the swing right there at 31.36. If you had your stop down below that, we'll say 6 ticks, you would have lost 6 ticks on that one. All right, now these other ones, you can tell just by looking at it that there was a lot of opportunity in there. I think that's no. I can cover just one or two if you want, but looking at the euro, you wait for the white to drop down. You wait for the price to get down below the MA1. You enter with your risk above the swing pivot that got you into the trade. So in this case, you would have been looking to enter. I mean, worst case scenario, you would have been entering in here at 31.48. From 31.48, it dropped. Let's just go to this immediate swing pivot down to 31.36. That is 12 ticks right there. That's the equivalent of 3 points ES. Brian, the target I use an 8-tick bracket when I originally put it on. Well, I had been using an 8-tick bracket. Now I use an 8-tick stop. Originally, when I put the bracket on, I use an 8-tick stop and a 50-tick target, and I just adjust the target as we move along. I also adjust the stop based on the risk here. Okay. The question was, what was the target on those? But you can see, letting it run is a pretty good thing to do. Some of the guys are trailing their stop down behind the MA1. That's one way to handle the target to get the most out of the trade. Just trail your stop. All right. You can see, that would have worked. It would have gotten you quite a few points in here, in most of these cases. Okay. Right over here, for instance, this one that just happened a few minutes ago. It turned down right here. Okay, it had turned down there. So you would have been entering in here at 30.72. If you trailed your stop down behind the MA1, you might have gotten stopped out down here at 51, 52. 20 ticks, the equivalent of 5 points ES, and that's just a couple of minutes there. All right. I have more to go over on that in the partners meeting. Come Thursday night, everyone who is a partner. Should be a good one. The last partners meeting lasted 3 hours. And we went over a whole bunch of things in it. Unfortunately, we didn't get to go over Mike R's trades, but now we have 2 weeks worth to go over. All right. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them right now. If you don't have any questions, then I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to stop the recording anyway, but I'll answer them during the recording if you type them in right now. Okay. I don't see any questions coming in, so I am just going to